So you're saying then that you don't want to do the show anymore?
I'm not going to do the show for chump change, no.
Okay.
Chump change refers to working for a very modest or low amount of money. Chump is a fool, so the idea is that you're working for money that only a fool would accept. So a lot of people object to the idea of working for chump change or minimum wage because they think that they're worth a lot more even if they don't have another job. And it's also used as a general expression. I don't want to work for chump change, or that company, all they pay is chump change. Even if it is a decent amount of money, but it's less money than the person feels that they deserve. In this case, a chump is a fool. In this case, chump is a fool. Change refers to coinage, not dollar bills. So a person who works for chump change is literally a foolish person who works for extra change that the company has, that they're willing to dole out to the person. Once people have worked for Google, a lot of them don't want to work for any other company because even if they're paying a decent amount of money, compared to Google, the money seems like chump change. A lot of people think that working for McDonald's is working for chump change, but at the same time it gives people pretty good working experience that they can carry over into additional jobs that they might get.
The reserves of Philhellenism among Greece's partners have run utterly dry. They are living in cloud cuckoo land, says one Brussels official.
To live in a cloud cuckoo land is to believe in things that don't have much of a basis of reality, and to think things are going to happen that are very unlikely to happen, and to basically live in an alternate universe that makes very little sense to other people. Now, it could be that you have a whole group of people living in cloud cuckoo land, and they could be feeding back within the group various ways of thinking that perpetuate this mythful thinking. But that doesn't make it more real just because more people believe in it. So it comes from the idea of living in the clouds, which is this sort of imaginary world where, again, people believe in things that don't exist. And this is fairly common. It actually takes a lot of energy not to live in the clouds, because people naturally want to believe that the things that they imagine they want to be true are actually true. And they're also very likely to discount the information that disputes their beliefs. So that's certainly very natural. Then cuckoo land, that comes from the cuckoo bird, which is a bird that actually lays its eggs in other birds' nests. So in this way, the cuckoo bird is a parasite on the bird community and is considered to be very annoying and is certainly highly resented too. And as a type of revenge, the cuckoo bird is also considered to be crazy. So cloud cuckoo land is a very vague, unreal world. It's also a crazy world too. So it's a poetic way of saying that somebody or some belief system is delusional. And it's also a way of attacking enemies as well. So both political parties, at this point, it's fair to say, believe that the other side is living in cloud cuckoo land. A lot of people believe that Steve Jobs lived in cloud cuckoo land. He had this idea you could download music from the internet and you could put it on a little portable device, which he called the iPod. And everybody just thought that was the silliest thing they'd ever heard. Now, certainly when he came up with the idea, yes, it was a little silly because the storage capacity of these devices was not quite there yet, and the speeds on the internet were very, very slow. So it might have taken, half an hour to download a song. But within a couple years after he started developing the idea, the storage on the devices became better, the speeds became better. So all of a sudden, he goes from cloud cuckoo land to being a genius. So, that's the way it works. So similarly, at George Bush, he invaded Iraq with the purpose of turning Iraq into a democracy. And everybody says, yes, that's the answer. We have to create democracy in the Middle East. But then, as it turns out, that idea turned into cloud cuckoo land too. Much easier to talk about creating some development like that than to actually having it happen. Similarly, a lot of people think that if anybody thinks there is an easy solution to global warming, they're in cloud cuckoo land. The energy has to get from somewhere. And unless, you want people riding bicycles for not doing any travel, getting rid of air travel, very difficult to eliminate an energy-based economy. And the alternative energy devices, certainly they can help, but they can't very easily solve the issues. So, that turns out to be a fairly complicated issue, not easily solved. ESL-fullsteamahead.com